It seems like Bitcoin has slowed down a little bit considering the downside momentum. Instead, it's now having a little bit of bounce, but that's on the shoulder of dollar getting a little bit of correction. Remember, we talked about this. It's a corrective pattern for dollar. Getting rejected here is actually positive, but breaking this to the downside is going to be a good thing for everyone in the market. Because if you're in an asset, that's going to be positive. Now, while you look at Bitcoin, you do see some similarity in the price structure which we have observed recently. So Bitcoin is trying to follow the recent past, and if that's the case, we may see a little bit of correction before we head higher. Remember, we are right now at a level of resistance which we would actually like to see getting broken, but we need to understand the fact that this level has been a resistance support here, which is right now acting as a resistance. So while zooming in, this is what we see, but as soon as we take another step back, we get to see the macro picture, which is a little bit clear, and that looks even more bullish. So if you are here, let's dig deep in. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% in crypto. So right now we are observing the world is moving, the world is changing, and it is time for you to look for opportunities and find them, because they may not exist here in the market in this way after 3 to 5 months. Because if you remember what happened back here when we were all looking for volatility, that was the time when the market was consolidating after a correction, which was like a huge opportunity for a lot of people. Right now, this is what we are observing. The market is consolidating in an area, and at the same time, you also see some or few assets starting to bounce back up. Now, as you go through into long towards short, or big cap to small cap to micro cap, you do see a lot of different assets slowly starting to move. You actually see like momentum coming back into some of these assets. So it's actually key to look at all this before you actually make a judgment. So now here we are looking at Bitcoin. Now this is Bitcoin on a daily chart, and we do see interesting things evolving, meaning this was a resistance, but right now that is a support. It has been a support when we were testing that 23,000. It is a support right now after getting rejected from 25,000. Now we hit that level of 22,800 and we bounced. And when we actually take a step in, and on a 4-hour chart, this is what we are observing. And it kind of gives us a little bit of clarity about the altcoin market, because there is some fluctuation, there is some difference here compared to the Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still at this level, just retesting this previous support as a resistance. Whereas the altcoin market has gone through that level to the upside. The altcoin has broken even this level. Right now, it has even broken the trend line on the short term. Now we need to see whether the market can actually hold this level in the current retest. If that is to happen, we may see the price dropping a little bit, hitting this level, and then bouncing off from that level, which would be positive. Now, yeah, again, that's a 4-hour chart. We need to literally go back on to a macro chart, at least a daily towards a weekly, and still understand that, okay, we have not started a big rally yet. We are still in the accumulation zone, and as I pointed out in the Patreon earlier, few assets are breaking above this level. Say, yes, the altcoin market in general is right now in the accumulation zone, but few assets have already broken this to the upside, which is actually a positive thing, because when you observe assets breaking this level and then coming back down here, consolidating there, it kind of gives us an idea, okay, that's going to bounce off from there. The markup phase for that particular asset is about to start. And that is one of the reasons why I'm like, okay, that looks good, right? That looks really bullish. So you need to really look for the assets which are preparing for the next big run up. Now, one of the examples which we can learn from in the recent past in the market is like you can literally go on to different assets which we have already seen doing the same. They came down. They made this pattern, which looks like accumulation. They broke higher. You kind of get a little bit more clarity there. Then, you are in this asset class to literally find opportunities and to learn more. And then we actually take that same thought process back to XRP. And here we are on the short-term horizon, daily, weekly, wherever we look, we are like, okay, we did not actually get a follow through. On a daily, we did see a candle which was bullish, but we did not get follow up in the market, which is not actually a great thing as an XRP holder. Like, yeah, you expect it to move higher with Bitcoin's move. Yesterday, we understood that it was following Bitcoin, did give us a bullish signal. But today, when Bitcoin is actually moving up like this, we really didn't get something like that, which is a little bit depressing as an XRP holder again. But with that SEC case happening and people hyping it, literally hyping XRP towards 100,000 to $1 million XRP, the fact is the market is valuing it right now at 0.37. And it may even come back down to the support before it actually bounces off. And if it's coming back down to the support, now we have something which we really don't want to see. This may not be the best drawing out there, but you get the point. We may still get this pattern putting in different highs, which suggests that all these highs are correlated in this support zone, which may not be the best case to look out for as an XRP holder, because one thing to understand is the measured move for this would be a minus 40%. Now, only if that materializes. That's the negative side which we have to consider if dollar decides to break this higher and go higher and cryptocurrency market is being slowed down. Other side of this is Bitcoin going back down, bouncing, making a double bottom, just like what we actually got here. And if we manage to get that in the market, you are going to see a lot of assets which actually pumped recently continuing to the upside. Some of them are actually breaking through, right? Some of them are breaking through the accumulation range. Some of them are starting the phase of the next markup, which is like, okay, you have a lot of opportunities in this market. Now, yes, it is going to be tough. A lot of people sell the idea of investing is really easy. But if you listen to anyone who has been in the market, not just crypto market, the real investing market for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and you learn from them, almost all of them give you this idea that it's not easy. There's a lot of important things which you have to balance through. And when you see people using 100, 50, 75, 100 leverage, now you need to understand when these corrections come in. Now, on a weekly, it just shows you that this is a little bit of drop in the market, just a normal bump in the road. But when you are in a short-term chart, you do see, okay, what just happened? We were at 25,000. We came all the way down to 22,700, which means if you are in the 50, in the 75 in leverage, you're done. Market kicked you out or you had the stop loss taken out. That's one of the reasons why we try to balance our risk in a way that we are still in the market and we go up. Last time when we corrected, we were still in the market. We were sitting there. When it went up, we closed a lot of positions in 50, 70, 100% in profit because we knew the risk tolerance which we can take and what we anticipate in the market. Now, coming back here, when we actually just try to put in a line, this has been the previous level of support. The price has not yet touched that level. So I would anticipate personally like, okay, if we are getting slowed down here, now we may come to this level, which is 22,400. Now, it's not a long way away because I've seen in some exchanges we have already hit 22,500. So that means it's going to be a retest of this consolidation level, which we broke higher from the last double bottom, which would still be healthy considering that the market is trending higher. Now, you look at this particular candle and you say, okay, that's a bullish candle. We got a bullish continuation. If you remember, we talked about this here. BTC to hit that support level, be ready for it. And what happened? The price did reverse. At least for the time being, this particular candle, it did show us that it is going to bounce back up, and we got a follow through. Now the volume was not heavy like this, but we still got small movement. But what we have to understand is last time the sellers volume was there, even at that point sellers were not able to close the candle here, buyers pushed it back up. Now keep in mind, last time when you actually got something like this here, the price corrected down. Right now what you're observing on a daily chart is this. Now there are a lot of information to digest, but understand, on a daily this is what you're observing. It is suggesting you we may actually go back up. But now the conflict arises when you start to dig deeper in looking at a macro picture. This is a 3-day chart. Now we are trying to look for what's happening all around the board. Fine. And then what do you understand? The market actually show you something similar here, which is concerning. If you remember, we talked about this over and over again here, saying, okay, these are the two critical things which you have to look for, positive and negative. The positive one played out immediately since we put out that video. That was a 4-hour chart, and we had the same exact pattern on the opposite side that played out. But remember, this one is not positive. That's a bad sign. On the negative one we are looking for. We need to see this getting invalidated soon, because as we go to a higher time frame chart, things are like, a little bit more certain comparing a short-term chart. So if you are literally looking for a daily and then 3-day, I would say, okay, 3-day weighs in. So you do have some corrective signals. But that's when we go on a weekly and say, weekly is bullish. Yeah, the price can slow down and come back down till 21,800 and still be bullish, because you're holding this level of support, this level of resistance. That's a support resistance zone. And in candlestick pattern, the price action, you will still observe this candle as a zone is being held. The price is slowly coming back down, agreed, but one candle pushed the price to upside, and it takes 2 to 3 candles to reach back that low. Sellers are weak. Most likely, next candle is going to be buyers coming in and pushing it through these level to the upside. So it may take another couple of weeks before we finally see what's happening in the market, who got it right, who's thinking properly, who is thinking every different possibilities. But this is market. Millions of participants are taking this market around the globe. This is crypto 24/7, not like the traditional markets. So you're going to literally see a lot of different ideologies, thought process coming in the market out there, and some of these are really great. Shout out to Mr. Man, showing this, and I'm like, okay, I'm in this country, and that doesn't actually sound great. So if you are literally holding everything in an exchange and you really want to move it into stable coin, this is not good. This does not sound good. So basically, take anything which you really don't want to trade out to a ledger or send it to your family as a gift, if you believe them strongly, right? And they are in a jurisdiction where they don't have a tax issue. That's great. Meaning, you just gifted it them. If the price goes up and you believe that when they take profit, they're going to give you some as a gift, done. Right? So you need to actually think about all these possibilities. And then we have recently seen how Munger was, now he's a great investor in the traditional world, but he has missed a lot of chips like Tesla, right? Like Buffett missed Microsoft, right? We understand that because that's way out from their think process, their thinking ability. They actually really focus on an area and they are really good at it. They call it that competence circle, and if it's outside of that competence circle, they really don't care. And that's where technology is. You can't really anticipate a 90 or 100-year-old to understand what blockchain technology is doing, what cryptocurrency is disrupting, right? That's something you really don't anticipate. So basically, even though they are legends in the investing world, when they come out and bash cryptocurrency, understand they didn't even understand Tesla even after Elon Musk spending time with them talking about that back in 2008. So that was a time of panic. The market dropped. You had opportunity literally to buy at the bottom. They missed that opportunity. So when you're here in the market, do try to look at what you're going to follow. This is something we have actually put out earlier today saying, okay, this can be the resistance. We are breaking to the upside. And as we discussed in yesterday's video with this wick, yeah, we got that follow through. We broke higher. We made a continuation pattern. Again, this is a short-term chart, not a macro chart. So we went up, we hit the level of resistance, and now we are slowing down. So what do we look forward from here? We do get volatility. We are literally observing that the price is volatile at the level of a resistance. So it's like, okay, it's not that great thing to watch unless you break through the zone. Now, what do I mean by zone? You also have a level of resistance here, right? The previous support is going to act as a resistance, and it did, right? The wick came to that range and slowed down. So now we have to take this down and extend it and see where it goes. Here, the bottom of this wick comes down. So that's your zone. Now, zoomed in, it does look like a big range, but when you are zoomed out, looking at the last 2 months, you're literally like, okay, that's nothing, right? We are coming back to retest, and if we are getting rejected, we are coming back down to 21 or 22,000. So you need to understand which assets are dropping 20% when Bitcoin is dropping 5%. You need to look for assets which is pumping 50% when Bitcoin is moving 5%, because that's where you will see majority of the opportunities in the next couple of weeks to a month. That's most likely because in next 30 days, we're going to see the Fed come out again, react to the market and the CPI. That's going to come out in the macro time. But again, if you are getting that thought process of what's happening in the market, this is better. Now, you learning regularly and taking time to understand what's happening in the market and preparing yourself, that's the best thing you can do, because once you identify that the momentum is to the upside, you notice that, okay, this is a short-term chart, but you saw the momentum increasing to the upside, consolidating there, and then further getting a continuation to the upside. That's good. So if we consolidate here, and then again break to the upside, now you don't really need a lot of different people to give you the opinion. You're looking at the market, what's happening. It's like a step, you're going to the upside. Go back in time and look when this happened last time, how things evolved. You got the first leg up, you slowed down. You got the next leg up, you slowed down. But eventually at one point, people got onto it understanding, okay, this is going to blast off. That's when all of them decided to jump in, and then the price went boom. What happens? Those who understand this at this range, they get the most ROI. But again, not everyone is willing to go for it. So this on a short-term structure is 16%. Understand on a macro that can be 16x. Then, if you are looking for like those who understood that thing here from the break, they actually made 10%. So that's a big difference considering what just happened in the market. If it's on a longer time horizon, remember on a shorter horizon, you just saw this, which is your accumulation range or reaccumulation range. And then the next thing here, that happens to be the retest of the accumulation. This is what I told you. Right now, we are watching a lot of different assets doing this on a macro scale, not an hourly chart, on a daily chart. That for me is like, wow, that's a huge opportunity, because what it's about to do after this is this leg up. 1, 2, 3, boom. It's going to go up. So if you are there finding opportunities, this is going to be really helpful for your portfolio. And if you're looking for something like that for your crypto portfolio, look for the Patreon. The link is given in the description below, where we literally go through all these assets to give you the proper understanding of what the market is doing, what these assets are looking like, how can the market move forward. Maybe that's completely negative. Maybe this is completely positive. You literally see the opportunities arising in a different assets and some of them hitting your target. So if you bought something and you forgot that, you get the reminder, okay, that's hitting your targets. If you want, take your profit. So if you are looking for that for next 2 to 3 months, which is going to be a monster gains in the crypto asset market, you can again look here. And if you receive value for your time and you learn something, hit that like and subscribe button. That supports the channel a lot. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.